Show us your tips, Daggy. Beaver with you for a weekend preview once again. How are you travelling, my friend?
Travelling nicely, thank you, Adrian. Another week of punting and a bit fresh at the moment, but we're ploughing on and hopefully get a few winners for the weekend after sort of a interrupted Eagle Farm last week. We lost a few races there at the back end of the day, but overall a prosperous day for us, I think.
Not too bad at all, no. It was, it is a bit chilly at the moment, but we soldier on as winter has arrived. A pretty good day's racing, both at Flemington Eagle Farm. We'll kick off up in Queensland, where we've got the rerunning of the Derby, or the rescheduled Derby, and the BRC Cup, which we'll get to later. I'll be honest, I didn't really redo the form. I'm just going to spat out whatever I said last week, but we'll get there when we get there. There is more rain coming, unfortunately. It's been pretty good this week. The hoses have stayed away, but I believe there's might be some rain throughout the afternoon. Rail goes out to the 2 metre position. Hopefully it's not too bad and doesn't get to a last man standing sort of stage. Any thoughts on how the track may play?
Oh, look, I think...
Actually, the forecast look keeps better, so it should be right.
Yeah, looked heaps better. It's at a soft track now, so I don't think we're going to get the heavy. I think it'll play quite well, and I think every horse will get its chances.
Beautiful. We kick off with a 1,500 metre affair, a 2-year-old listed race, in fact. How are you going to start the day as I pull up my right notes? There we go.
Yeah, look, I'm going to stick with Sunrays here, third up. Really like the way that it's let down last start from mid-pack. That was a very nice win. It's drawn gate 3 here. I think it gets an ideal run. And I've got it on top and hardest to beat. Certainly got a watch on Providence from the Waller stable. The first run at Randwick was pretty good. It was long odds and finished off nicely there. I think it's got a lot of room for improvement for a race like this. So I think it can run well. And the Freedman Just a Journey is going well. But Sunrays on top, Main Danger, Providence.
Not much to add. I agree pretty much with most of that. I just had Just a Journey as the danger. Sunrays was pretty dominant last time. I think she repeats a dose. Just got the right set of notes now. It will be a dead track tomorrow. Just a Journey was interesting. Couple of strong on-pace wins. I think that's the Main Danger. And obviously it's always scary when Waller sends one up here. The second is a 1,000-metre listed race as well. I spent about 3 minutes on this race. I think Pisanello wins. I think it was great. Last time out at Scone, got too far out of its ground. Smashed the line. Comes here, gets James McDonald, gets an outside gate. It'll just flow into this and it will win. From Ostmar, who comes back from sitting outside lead in a Group 1. I think coming back to here off the start before that being quite dominant in Sydney and taking control. I made it the Main Danger. The rest of these they're all sort of just Queensland go around and around horses. They take their turns, so that's the way I'd seen it. What have you come up with?
Yeah, look, you make valid points there, but I'm going for a little bit of value here. I'm going for Our Kobison resuming. Has a great first up record. Probably wasn't at its best last preparation, but I'm hoping it's come on from that, and I think it can run well. It's drawn gate 15, which isn't ideal, but I think it can run really well, and I've got it as some value. First up, I think Medal Up again, bounced back last start. I think you'd want to save on it. I think it can run extremely well as well. And, there's even horses down a bit further. Manhood's going well at the moment, but Inshalah's Moment can fly first up and has a good finish. But open race, I'm just not so sure about Pisanello. It'd be hard to beat, but just going around it with some value.
The bigger value in the race, I just mentioned, is for exotics, is your horse Tiger Shark. It's $23, and you can forgive last time out, pulled up with the thumps. It can bounce back here at a price as well. Next best. The third is a mile girls race here, Magic Millions Classic. Magic Millions Wait for Age Classic. And I looked at this and thought when Pulchridicionis sits 3 wide and beats a lot of them at 60s, as tipped by me, I got rid of that whole race and was left with 2 that I'm going to go with. 2. One is Mayor of Mount Buller. That was very good last time out. Chasing Know Thyself, Beaver's poster horse. J-Mac jumps on now, so he's going to ride the first 3. And it's going to be right in the finish here. And I'm left with Lek Vade, who you go back 2 starts at beat Lazura. That's pretty good. And then the Group 1 after that crossed the line with Amelia's Jewel. That's good form for this. I just threw the rest of them in the bin, left with 2 horses, and it was pretty comfy doing so. What have you done?
Yeah, I've gone for Lekvade myself. I like it for all the reasons you said. I think its runs this time in have been pretty decent. Ran in a Group 1 and was only 5 lengths behind Fangirl, and then won nicely in a Group 2 at Rose Hill in the Emancipation there. So I think it can run really well in this race, and hardest to beat, Mayor of Mount Buller. I've just flipped them around the other way at $7. I think it's a good price.
Like it. So you same with me. Just brushed that whole lead-up
Yeah,
race.
I wasn't interested. I think the other form's better form.
Perfect. The fourth is the Morton Cup, Group 2, 1,200 metre race. Not a bad one either. What are you doing here?
Yeah, another good little race here with plenty of chances. I've settled on Punch Lane. Flying at the moment. It's in career best form. Last couple of runs where it's won have been fairly dominant. I think it can take up a forward position here and get a good run in the race. And I think it's going to be super hard to beat. I thought the main danger was a little deep, third up now, won well first up. Nothing wrong with second up run and sets up nicely here.
I've gone with Warney. I thought that first up run was pretty good. It was now second up, second prep in Oz. Is very strong at Gosford. Comes here. The obvious starting point for me was front page. It just because it's going to be in the right spot. It's going to lead here and he's just super honest. Couple of starts back made Private Harry work pretty hard to get past it. So it's the danger and a little deeper. I was shocked it was so short when I looked at the market, but its last run was really good in a Group 1. So, and obviously it's a horse we've both been a fan of all the way through. So has to run well. I just was probably put off by the initial price more than ink, but I'm going to spec Warney at a price, and the other two will go into the early quarter. The fifth is the Queensland Day Stakes 3-year-old race here, 1,200 metres. What are you doing?
Yeah, look, another interesting race here as well.
Don't tip Coleman, please.
Don't tip Coleman? No chance. No, not interested there. I thought this was a pretty hard race, to be honest. I'm going to stick with Gerringong.
Yeah, okay.
I liked the first up run. I thought it hit the line. Gate 18's not the ideal gate. Hopefully a few scratchings that can bring it in, but it'll probably need to go forward a bit and get some cover. If that can happen, then I think it can be I can be right in the finish here. So I've got it on top. And I just struggled to really find too much in this race. Not with a lot of confidence, but I think it can run well.
I think Winnasedge is a ripper here. I've got it on top. I think it's been very good every run this prep. Former round reserve, Brank looks good now. It's won a Group 1. Alabama Lassie is a Group 1 horse as well. And has had a trial since where it trialled better than Asfura, who's also a Group 1 horse. So it fits this race really well. And I was scared of Gerringong as the danger because it was great. It probably should have won last time out. That race sort of passed it by. Goes Winona Costin to Tim Clark. The gate's my only concern. 2 hopes and fairly comfy thinking that way. The 6 is the Spear Chief, 1,500 metres. A listed race of all things. Rising Pacific has been flying. We've talked about it a few times, and I like winning form. It's been saved from a couple of wet tracks. Comes here, it's $11. Thought it was pretty easy to like, actually. From the resuming Belvedere boys, who's a big price, can run a race fresh. Very honest. Where'd I go after that? Old mate Tabs, actually, who I'm sure you're about to mention, was beaten by the gate last time out and gets a 6-kilo drop and a nice barrier. So I thought it had to be alive in this one. But what are your thoughts?
I think it's very much alive, Tabs, and I'm going to stick with it. You're right. It got caught wide last start, and I thought it stuck on okay given the circumstances
I agree.
With a good weight. Hopefully that hasn't taken too much out of it, but fingers crossed it hasn't. I'm going to back up on Tabs, gate 5. I think it can posse up much better here. You're right, it gets some weight relief. And I think this is a race that can win. So I've got it on top. I had Fukabana can run well again. It's going good. And I thought the resuming Belvedere boys, I think you'd want to be careful not to leave it out because it's got a bit of ability.
The first leg of the quaddie is the first of the Group 1s, a weight for age 1,300 metre race. We've lost Private Eye, Rothfire, Basusto and Amina. Who do you like?
Can't go away from Joliestar. Tipped it last week. I think it's probably firmed up a bit here. Look, I think it's going to be super hard to beat. I've got it on top. Pretty keen that it can win. Probably a little bit shorter than I'd like. So I'm hoping the price might be a little bit better on the day. But there's a few that are out here, which probably has caused that. I've got it on top, and I think I'll be winning.
I didn't revisit these races, as I said, the ones that were postponed, but having had a week to think about it, I'm going to tip Joliestar on top and pretty comfortably, actually. Not going to make the Sunshine in Paris mistake. Probably best horse, best jockey. It'll get into the right spot and could well win comfortably from Komochi, who I still think is going better than what that form, those last few starts look like on paper. It'll run well here from an inside gate. The next Group 1 is the Queensland Oaks, 2,200 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. And I am going to stick with Benadryl. Got absolutely battered from pillar to post last time out, trying to make 3 runs. Couldn't get any of them. On that day, I'd made it the best on the day. I think even luck at Gate 5, Mark Zara, it'll atone. It's the best horse here. From Panito, who's been kept fresh, dominant on a wet track, went home, had a beautiful trial since, and it's the main danger and absolute live chance. There's a couple of other bits and pieces. Filia goes in a quaddie, moving out. And Churchill's Choice as well. You have been with this all the way through. Maybe a grand final, we can see the best of it. But obviously, we'll get that to the quaddie then. Fairly Queen Benadryl's a horse to beat. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's the horse to beat as well. I'm going to stick. I agree with you. I don't think it had any luck last start. It was cluttered up, got knocked around. And that race favoured horses that were up on speed, and nothing really made too much ground there. I'm going to give it another chance, and at 550, I think you're getting pretty good odds now. So I got it on top. Feely is going great. Hard to go past its form. It's going to give you a sight if you're on it. And moving out can run well as well from the Waller stable. But yeah, I'm going Benadryl as well, and I'm sticking with you there, mate.
Very good. The 2,400 metre Group 1 Derby comes up next. Another postponed race from last week. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, look, interesting race. I think I'm going to stick with Bell to tell that here. I had it last week. I think, again, it can run really well. It got back last start and hit the line quite nicely. I think the 2,400 here suits. Super scared of Statutorio. It's definitely the main danger. I think these two will fight it out. And I think if you back either one, you'll be collecting.
I'm sticking with Statutario. No luck at all last time. It should have won that the SA Derby there. Unfortunately, we've still got John Allen on board, but that's why we're getting $6. Party Crasher, Chase Your Dreams are 2 at value. We've come home with a listed race, the Helen Coghlan Stakes over 1,200 metres, another postponed event. And I'm going to come home with Tashi, who just maps really well for Karen McAvoy. Its last 2 runs have been very good. Should fight out the finish. Floozy's a winner, and Terramata's over the odds. They were the 3 that were prominent in my thoughts. The drier the track gets, the more I'm worried about Kin after half-potting it last week. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Comrade Rosa like I did last week. I know you're laughing at me, but we'll see how we go. I think it can run well. 3rd up here, has a good finish on it. Hopefully there's a bit of pace on in the race, and this is finally a race that it can win. I got it on top. And hardest to beat Floozy, who's flying at the moment. Roundabout, it'll be in the finish.
Beautiful. The quaddie on Queensland Derby / Oaks Day. First leg, we'll go 1 Giga Kick. 4. I'm throwing 4 Golden Mile in for some value. 10 and 11 down the bottom, the two girls. Second leg, 1 Benadryl, 2 Philly out, 3 Moving Out, 4 Churchill's Choice, and 8 Panito. Third leg, what am I doing here? 3 Statuario, 13 Party Crasher. Where's she gone here? Down the bottom, 17 Bell to Tell, 18 Chase Your Dreams, and we'll come home with 1 Curvolante, 3 Terramata, 6 Kin, 7 Floozy, and 9 Tashi. My best on the program is race 5, number 2, Winner's Edge, and my value is going to be, where are we here? The Rising Pacific, race 6, number 12. What are you doing, Beaver?
Yeah, my best bet is race 7, number 10, Joliestar, and my value bet is race 2, number 13, Our Kobison.
Very good. Of course, you can find the written equivalent of all this on showusyourtips.net. That's going up now. Beaver's in the process of doing it in the background there. We're going to head to Flemington next, where it looks a pretty good winter's card, potentially some rain around late in the afternoon. today and tomorrow, but I'm hoping we still stick in that soft range. I did the form quite early for this in the week, and the markets came out pretty much in the same order as I had them, so we'll see if that's a good or bad thing. Kick off with the I said railing 8 metres, didn't I? So it's a rail 8 metres soft track, and we've got a staying contest to really set the fires going. What are you doing in the first?
Yeah, it's such an exciting start to the day. I'm going to stick with number 7, Muktamel. It's an honest horse. It's not flashy, but this is the type of race it could run well and win. It'll sit middle of the field, and I think the 2500 and the long Flemington straight really suits it. It can sort of wind into its work and stay all day, and I think it's not a bad price for this type of field.
Yeah, went back to a benchmark 70 last time, but carried 61 and sat 3 wide, and I thought it was quite good. Drops 7 kilos on that. I think it'll have been a finish as well. I won't rattle on much more. Bold Soul, who you tipped last week, comes back for its 3rd race in 3 weeks. Has to be fit now. Will make it the danger. The second is 1100 metre 2-year-old race. An interesting 2-year-old race here with a field full of Ole Kirk horses. And the 2 that I'm going to tip in the Quinella are both out of that sire, or by that sire. Miss Ole, very good last time out, obvious favourite. And I thought Son of Kirk was very good in all 4 jump outs. Most recently has trialled over 1,000 metres and travelled beautifully for that. So I thought it was the value to be had here on debut. And I said there's been a bit of money for it. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm going for Miss Ole as well. I tipped it last start and it duly saluted. I thought that was a good run. I think they've got a bit of an opinion of this horse, and I think it'll be winning this.
The third is a 1,400 metre benchmark, 78 for, is it the girls' race? I think so, yeah. What are you doing? We know all of these quite well.
Yeah, I didn't really like the race at all here. I've gone for Stylish, purely that it's 3rd up. It was a good first up win, willing to forgive last start. Comes from the right stable here, and I think it can prove hard to beat. The main danger, I think, is the top weight, Avery.
I've gone the same way. Stylish. That last week was a complete barrier trial. They just never got a crack, and I like that they've just brought it straight back to the races a week later. And we get a senior jockey jumping on. So I'm going to put it on top from Dream All Day, who is a nice horse. The trials were good. Live Chance, next best, Cindy Falls. That was a good resumption. And I revisited after I'd done this race because it has spent a lot of its life in group racing. Is now in benchmark stuff. I think it's a much better chance at first given credit for. But I'll stick with Stylish as the top tip. The fourth, 1,100 metres, 3-year-old race, and very easy for me to like Soft Love here. Resumed in a listed race at Scone, missed a start and ran pretty much as well as it could have in that race. Back to Melbourne, gate 13 at Flemington. Hopefully gets a nice flow into this race, and we've seen it round up fields from behind quite comfortably. Going to stick and fairly keen. Supercilious is a horse that I've had my master attached to for a long time. It comes back to the races here at a bit of a price. And I'll throw it to yes, slightly race thing into the early 42. What are you doing, Beaver?
Yeah, I've gone the same way here. I think back to Melbourne here. Yeah, that run, doesn't look as bad as a 7, I think. And I think I like the draw down the outside of the track, 12. It can just sit off the pace. I think One Hard Lady will make sure it's genuine enough. I do have it as the main danger. Flying, and that was still a good win last start. So, good second last start. It was a good run. Only just pipped on the line. So I think it can run well. I think these 2 hold the key, but Soft Love on top for me as well.
The fifth is the Vobis Gold Mile, and a lot of our old friends are here. Who's going to win?
I can't go past Jimmy, can I? Backed him last start. The old Warhorse looks like he might be back in form here. That was a good little win. 3rd up here, I think it'll be, again, at its peak here. Gate 10's fine and going to be hardest to beat. I think the main danger is O2 Good. It's also 3rd up here. Probably, first run was good. Second up.
I thought last start was a bit disappointing. It was okay, yeah.
It was okay, but Hughes did sit off its back and put pay to it. I wasn't quite sure that O2 Good was ready last start, and that was correct. I think 3rd up here it gets its chance, but Jimmy Bear's just so consistent, doesn't run a bad race, and now it's back in form. I think it's the obvious choice.
Yeah, I agree. I echo everything you've just said in the same way. I'd like to see O2 Good lead. Last prep it was going forward. If it goes forward here, it can win this race. If it goes back, it can't. Simple as that. But Jimmy just savaged the line last week. It's always a good thing when Pat Payne brings them straight back to the races because it means they're going very well. The 6 kicks off the quaddie, which is also over the mile for the 3-year-olds here. And King of Enterprise copped a John Allen special from gate 1 last time out. Never, ever got a shot either. Now gets clear air, now gets Daniel Moore. I think it can make up for that, and we're getting a nice each-way price to find out. It's on top for me. Ahha. Smashed him last time out, and with the claim comes in here with 51 kilos. Set up for this. Absolute live chance. You can get to your quaddie numbers a bit later. What are you doing?
I'm going.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really hard to beat. I actually think this race is not a bad little race
It's
here.
a good race.
There's some good up-and-coming horses here. I think, as you said, you've named King of Enterprise, but Dark Simba was really good last couple, and I think it's a genuine chance here coming from the right stable. And Taken was very good as well. And you can't even rule out Detroit City, who ran in the same race. This has got a really good feel about it, this race, with the depth of it. So not the easiest race to pick. I just went for Ahha with the lightweight, and that it killed him last start. But yeah, good race here. I think there's 5 or 6 really genuine chances here.
Agree. You could, when you get your quaddie, Yowdy's another one worthwhile thinking about as well. The 7th is, what are we doing here? 2,000 metre benchmark 100, which is always our favourite grade to discuss, where they just lump them all in here and they go around again. But the one that's not going around again, the one that's doing some winning, is the one that's going to win again. That's Liberami. On the upward spiral, I've been with it all the way through, and very easy to like. From the only danger, I thought, actually, I would have liked to see a little bit more out of it, is Townsend, and that's purely because it's going to get its own way up front, and Gay can send them down and just steal these races. But to be honest, hasn't found a great deal in its 2 runs back. So maybe only one hope. What are you doing, Beaver?
Yeah, I kind of think there is only one hope. Surprised it's not a little bit skinnier here. Flying at the moment. That was a good win last start because it did hit the lead early because it was just going so well. And it was a lovely win. You know, it was heavily backed at Flemington. Was well back in the field, hit the lead early, ran out the 1800 quite strongly there. So I don't think the 2000's any chance, poses any problems. I think it could just sit in here and take off when the other ones are going backwards. So clearly on top for me.
Got a 2,000 metre 3-year-old quality up next. Good luck, mate. What are you doing?
Oh, you're going to need plenty of luck here. I'm going for number 9, Champagne Jenny. Again, it only won its maiden last start, but paid to him pretty easily there. That was quite strong, stepping up to the 2100. So I think the out to these distances is in its favour. Look, yeah, this is a bit of a lottery, this race. So I'm happy to go for the winning form again. Fits my criteria. Third up, on the improve, on the way up. Won a maiden, but stepping out here. Kind of half skips a grade, so that's a good sign. And got it on top.
I'm putting chocolates on top. I liked his big, long, searching run it had to make last time out. Hit the line very well behind. That was to Taken in Detroit City, who we just discussed, actually. Its first up win was very nice as well. So I'm going to go with it on top from I Only Wish, who interests me on a 7-day backup. But both of they end up being first and second in the market. So I probably want a little bit more of a premium in a race like this. The 9th is a 1,200 metre benchmark, 84. The inside gate didn't suit Pivot City last time out. Unfortunately, it's in a similar spot here, but at least we're up the straight. So I'm going to forgive it and give it one more chance. It's on top from Namesake, who's just a super honest horse. Nice win, quick backup. Main danger, but a tricky race because some of these at their best would be very hard to beat. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, another tricky race to finish the day, you're right. But I'm going for number 4, Marble 9. Again, up the straights, got the outside down, got gate 17, gets a 3 kilo claim here, and has been fairly consistent of late. ran in a couple of listed races and at Flemington, the last one sort of led them up and only just ran past in the last 100 there, was only a length behind them. And then prior to that, ran a really nice race on pace at Winamble in a listed race before winning, beating Sunshine in My Pocket at Bendigo. So, and one over further than this, I think it can run well. And I've got it on top in what is a really open race to finish the day.
Beautiful. Can you give us your quaddie?
Yeah, bit of a tricky quaddie here, so a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how we go. In the first leg, which is race 6, in no particular order, I've gone number 7, Taken, number 9, Ahha, number 10, Dark Simba, and number 5, King of Enterprise. In race 7, just sticking short here, going number 1, Nonconformist, to number 13, Liberami. In the 8th, I'm going number 7, Chocolates, number 5, I Only Wish, number 9, Champagne Jenny, number 4, Hot Majesty, and number 3, Verona Rupees. And in the last, to finish the day, I'm going number 12, Pivot City, number 20, Rue de Royale, number 4, Marble 9, number 8, Namesake, and number 3, Rheinberg.
Your best and value?
My best and value, my best bet comes up in race 7, number 13, Liberami, and my value comes up in race 6, number 9, Ahha.
Beautiful. I'm going to make my best race is Liberami as well, whatever that was, race 7, number 13. But 13? I think just for something different, Soft Love 4-4 is my other best on the card. Value, let's go with, we'll go stylish, hey? Race 3, number 6. Anything from the rest of the country? I haven't spent a lot of time at Randwick.
I had a quick look at Randwick, sort of got to sort of the middle of the card. I thought Hurstville Zagreb was ready to win third up. I thought Diamond Lil in the 6th could run extremely well again, flying at the moment. And in the 7th, number 9, Cool Jakey. I think it probably leads them up here. 3 kilo playing 51.5 on the back. Will be enough to get it home.
Yeah, they're pretty much 3 I had. Maybe in the last Nash on Get Along, race 10, number 6, a bit of different form there. Not much else for me from the rest of Australia. So that'll do us. Good luck, good punting. Enjoy the long weekend, guys. And we will be back to do it all again next week. Check out showstips.net and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.